What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And today we're going to be talking about how to establish and adapt a warrior mindset. Now, I don't know about you, but I love training my mindset. But you know what I also love doing? I love watching movies, action-packed movies, right? Anything like that. And some of the best movies that I get to enjoy watching is like stuff like 300. Right, with all the different Spartans, a bunch of different war movies. There's something about it, especially as a guy like watching war movies. I don't know. I love it because I can always just visualize myself and putting myself in that situation or whatever kind of action movie there is, James Bond, superhero movie, whatever the case may be, right? I love to put myself as if I was the character and just start to think, what would I do if I was stuck in that situation or going through that events? Like, what would I do, right? So I love that. But the reason why I decided to make, today's episode kind of starting off and talking about that is because I feel like as men, we all should be on that quest to develop a warrior mindset, right? And so a warrior, that could be a superhero mindset. That could be an actual warrior. That could be a soldier, right? Could be anything like that. But in terms of just, developing that character trait of, hey, I'm on a mission. I'm doing this regardless of how I feel. I'm showing up. I'm going to get the job done. No ifs, ands, or buts. I feel like as men, especially in today's society, if we all had that warrior mindset saying, hey, here's my goal. I'm going to get there. That's it, right? I understand the process. There's going to be some, highs and lows, right? Like in any movie that you watch. But regardless, they're going to get there. And I hope from today's episode, you start to, establish and develop this warrior mindset as well. Because who knows? It could definitely change and transform your life. And I want to give credit where credit is due. Where I really started to get a lot of guidance, I should say, was just by reading this book called Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Metcalf. And in fact, all of our coaching clients at Heartletics, you guys heard me talk about this book numerous of times. And it's a very powerful book, a very easy book also. Little side note, I don't have the best reading comprehension. So reading's kind of hard for me to read something and then actually remember what it is that I read. This book right here, the chapters are like, 2 to 3 pages long. Very easy. But long story short, this book kind of goes over just, this guy trying to become a samurai archer. And he has to go through 10 years of just this training, of just this repetition, kind of the same old song and dance. But regardless, there's a lot of trial and errors in the book that this individual has to go through until he actually becomes that, samurai archer. And there's a point in the book where the young apprentice, he's talking to his sensei, and he basically is telling him like, dude, you're an old man. You don't know like how to do it like this, etc. Right? Trying to, showcase to his sensei that he's better than him. And so the sensei says, okay, follow me back to the archery range. Late into the evening, he said it's like pitch black outside. And I guess the, sensei, showed his apprentice like, how to do the bow and arrow, and basically the pitch black got a bullseye. But then on top of that, like the next two, targets that he hit was actually pinpoint on the first initial arrow on the bullseye, which is just amazing, right? Like, I love that because it's just like knowing like, hey, this individual, right, that sensei could still be in his, old age, right? Like that accurate is awesome, but it makes you kind of think, what did he have to go through in terms of training to become that good? You get to hear about the apprentice going through his training, but maybe this sensei, right? Maybe he went through other training, longer training, whatever the case may be, where he could be that confident and that good and just say, hey, dude, listen, follow me to the archery range. I'm going to show you up. And that's it, And I think, once again, as men, right, we need to develop more confidence. We need to develop a better character trait. We need to develop that warrior mindset. And now, putting into the terms of like the movies that I mentioned in the very beginning, think about any action-packed movie that you enjoy watching, right? Maybe it's a superhero movie. Maybe it's like a action pack, whatever the case may be, Maybe it's like 300, right? I love learning about the Spartans, right? Those guys were literally bred into the battlefield, right? Warriors at heart. And there was no choosing, right? Like back in the day when there was the draft for war, there was no choosing, right? Like when you got pulled aside and drafted to go out to fight for our land, guess what? Like I'm sure at times, yeah, people were very, very upset. People cried. People did not want to leave. But regardless, like as a man, you have to just show up. And it sucks for me to tell you this because, there's going to be somebody that doesn't want to hear that. But that's the reality. Like as a man, like you got to learn how to pull off the Band-Aid. You got to learn how to just go after your goals. And you have to understand that it's not supposed to be easy. Like having this warrior mindset is understanding that there's a lot of battle scars, right? From the different battles that you've been through. And that's what makes that warrior mindset so powerful and so memorizing to just to kind of look at it, it's mesmerizing. I think it also in terms of like, mixed martial arts, right? You see a lot of like older experienced fighters, in the very beginning scene, they're all hype, talking, loud and whatnot. And just as they get more and more fights, they start to get a little bit more mature. They start to get a little bit more confidence. But regardless, like some of these fighters, like they got some scars. They got some scar tissue, right? They've been in some wars. But regardless, when they show up to the battle, like they can look back and say, okay, hey, I was stuck in this armbar by this person. I was stuck in this leg lock by this person. I was stuck, I got knocked down in the first round by this person before. They can look back to all the previous fights to kind of help them out for the current situation at hand. And that's the real gist of overall. I really want you guys to understand and really adapt and get through today's episode is that to really have this warrior mindset, it's to understand that there's going to be highs and lows, but those highs and lows, especially the lows, that's what helps us move forward in the right direction. That's why there's a line, right? The line that separates the boys from the men. That's why there's a line called the comfort zone. That, hey, on the other side of your comfort zone is your goals. But it's just that you keep on deciding it's going to be hard. You keep on deciding, I can't do this, right? It's going to be challenging. And you don't go after your goals. And going after your goals does not mean it's going to be sunshines and rose petals and peaches and cream. No, going after your goals means that it's going to be hard because why do you think that there's few people out there that have success compared to the mass nation that doesn't have success, maybe on their health and fitness goals? Over 45% of the U.S. population is considered obese or overweight. So literally think about that. Why is it that there's very few people that are in shape, have confidence, right? And yet they're able to establish these better habits where it's carried on tenfold for the rest of their lives, right? It became who they are. Versus the normal, right? The average people that just lives paycheck to paycheck. They don't care about their health. They're living away on the weekends at the bar, whatever the case may be. They're not focused on becoming the best version of themselves. So my call to action for you is that if you're watching this or listening to this right now, you need to develop that warrior mindset and understanding that any path that you take to your goals, whether it's this path, whether it's this path, whether it's this path, it doesn't matter how easy it is in the beginning. There will be some trials. There will be some adversity. There will be some challenges, right? Eventually ahead. And it's just understanding is when you go through these challenges, let's say path A, very easy to get started and moving in that right direction, right? Maybe that's just you deciding to work out by yourself or starting to, cut out your carbohydrates or some nonsense like that. Seems very easy to do, but eventually it gets harder. Option B, right? Maybe this is you following through with the program or you following through with this. Might seem a little bit hard in the very beginning, but then eventually, right, it might, take a turn of events. Option C, right? There's might be something where it's very easy to do in the beginning and then eventually harder at the end of the road, right when you're close to your goals, whatever the case may be. And, these options that I'm giving you, there's only 3, but mentally, I want you to imagine millions. And that just goes to show you that there is no easy option to your goals. There's not. The only easy option is the one that you decide to stick with, stay consistent with, and most importantly, never give up with. And that, my friend, is the initial call to action that I want you to understand. If you really want to adapt this warrior mindset, you're going to go through hell and back. But it's the people that don't give up. It's the people that don't quit. It's the people that don't throw in the white towel. Those are the people that reach their goals at the end of the day. So my question to you is, are you that person? Do you have that warrior mindset? Are you trying to challenge yourself and become that individual where you're not going to take no for an answer? You understand that no sometimes means hard, right? But at the end of the same time, you will eventually reach your goals because you believe in yourself. You're confident in your self-worth. Or on the flip side, are you that type of person where, hey, maybe you don't necessarily have the best mindset. You don't really have the best confidence within yourself. Or maybe, I don't know, you just don't believe that you're worthy and deserving of reaching your goals, and you're just the type of person that always quits and throws in the white towel. And if you are, that's okay. Like the best thing that you can do is just admit that, face your inner demons, face your inner skeletons, but make today the day that you decide to start making a change and going after those goals and not quitting on yourself, not giving up on yourself. And if you need any help with that, hey, go check out heartletics.com, because odds are the simple solution for you is you just need people in your corner to support you. Because maybe you haven't really had that before in the past, where people are holding you accountable, encouragement, motivation, the whole 9 yards, to really give you enough fuel to the fire to go after your goals and, most importantly, reach your goals once and for all. So hopefully you guys got some inspiration from today's episode. If you did, definitely let me know. And as always, I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.